Well, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Tonight, we are talking about a very odd circumstance with multiple people that are missing, up to 12 people who are related to, have ties rather, with NASA and national security related work have either died or disappeared over the last few years. The FBI has said that there is possible connections among the 12 dead or disappeared involving scientists or people tied to very, very sensitive research, while NASA has said that at the time, nothing related to NASA indicates a national security threat. The FBI is looking into it, and right now we're going to dive a lot deeper, a lot to talk about on the other side of this.
I've walked through storms in scars and grace, smile through pain with a painted face.
Bring it with me.
They called me too loud, too much, too strong, but honey, that's the reason I belong. Every scar's a scripture, every tear's a hymn. I found my worth where the light grew dim. They tried to break me, but here's a twist. I turned my pain into a clenched fist. I'm an unbreakable woman, born of fire and pearl. I shine like grace in a reckless world. You can test my faith, you can shake my plans, but I'll rise again. Just watch me
Happy Friday, everyone.
I've been whispered about and written off, judged by the gloss, not the cost. But God don't build weak hearts from gold. He made me fierce and he made me bold. I bend, I pray, I roar, I rise with mascara, tears and battle cries. Don't need your crown, I forge my own. From ashes, honey, I build my throne. I'm an unbreakable soul, dressed in truth and pearls. The fire don't scare me, it lights my world. You can doubt my voice, but you'll hear my name. I'm holy and hood, and I'm done with shame. For everyone called too much, too loud, too real. You're not to anything. You're exactly what power looks like. I'm an unbreakable soul, through the fight and flame. My scars are stories, my strength, my faith. Faith in my heart, fire in my curls, for energy burns. Clutch them pearls.
Hit the thumbs up, guys.
Better tighten them pearls, nothing cold facts. Get the truth for the world, no smoke, no fluff. Just the real that we trust. Hold on to your seat, cause I'm coming in clutch.
You're up alive.
I've walked through storms.
In clutch, better tighten them pearls. Drop the cold facts. Got the truth for the world. No smoke, no fluff. Just the real that we trust. Hold on to your seat, cause I'm coming in clutch. Coming in clutch. coming in clutch. Better tighten the pearls, dropping cold facts. Got the truth for the world. No smoke, no fluff, just the real that we trust. Hold on to your seat, cause I'm coming in clutch. Coming in clutch.
Well, hello, 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 everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Really do appreciate your time. You could have chosen to be anywhere on YouTube. You have a lot of options anywhere on the internet, anywhere in the world. And you chose to be right here. I know your time is very valuable, and I do appreciate you spending some time with me. Today is happy 1st of May, 2026. It is currently 5:41 p.m. on the East Coast of the United States. Bonjour. Good to see you all. Thank you guys so much for joining me. We are talking about something I usually don't really go into, but I find this very fascinating. Tonight, we are talking about 10 to 12, definitely 10 scientists that are linked, allegedly. At least some are connected, but did they go missing or die in very unusual circumstances? And I'm going to show you that. There's also been some leaked documents where the US lab where two missing scientists worked and was studying UFOs. UFOs. Obviously, UFOs is nothing new. It's been people said that they've seen UFOs since the beginning. And you guys know, like, I I really don't get into like real big conspiracy theories or anything like that. I'm pretty mainstream, if you will. But one thing that's very interesting, I actually have kind of a UFO story, and I might tell you guys that later. Um, and I don't like stuff like that. Like, I don't want to see it. I'll talk about it all day. I don't want to see it. But we'll get into all of that. And that's the thing, Mimi. All of them cannot be coincidental. They just can't, in my opinion. So, and God, how old was I? I was probably 18 years old when I saw a UFO, an unidentified flying object, and it was in daylight, just daylight. Uh, but this is very interesting. I don't want to see it either. No, me either. Guys, good to see you all. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Before we get started, if you would be so kind and please do me a big favor, hit that thumbs up button. Would greatly appreciate it. Share out the live if you would be so kind in any of your favorite social media. Hit that share button, copy that link, drop it in any of your favorite social media. Also consider hyping this video after the live stream. If you get 3 hypes a week, and consider hyping one of our videos. Would greatly appreciate it. I seen one in 81 daylight 335 baby kisses. I was actually driving. I was It was like, I live in the mountains, and it was literally on top of a mountain, and I swear to God, it looked like a stereotypical. This was before smartphones, as well, and it looked like kind of like a stereotypical silver saucer, uh, right on the edge of the mountain. not real far above the mountain at all. Um, and I don't even like saying that because, like, I didn't believe people before I seen uh, that. And I don't know if I don't really think it's aliens. I really don't think it's aliens. I think it's, in my opinion, governmental research, most likely. Um, be quiet, Joe. No, don't take Justin. Um, I mean, if it's like West Palm anywhere else, maybe go ahead, take me. Definitely not aliens. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's aliens or anything, but I do believe we're not being told everything. That is for sure. And we're going to get into that here shortly. I don't even know where to begin. I have truly been down a rabbit hole. Also, there has been out in these areas, in Nevada, particularly, and California, and one in Utah, there have been 17 earthquakes uh, around that area. And around the Area 51, are they doing nuclear, underground nuclear testing again? Are they doing some type of testing as well? Kind of weird um, as well. So, a lot to get into. So, guys, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button, share the live out, all the good stuff. Now, some people believe that this is absolutely nothing. And some people believe there's a lot more. Let me just kind of tell you about it if you know nothing about it before I start showing you things. So, people that has ties to NASA, JPL, Los Alamos, MIT, and the U.S. Air Force Aerospace Research. They also have pharmaceutical research and national security work has either died or disappeared over the past few years. The FBI said it is looking into possible connections with at least the 10 deaths. Okay, it's not one of those, it's not a single incident. There's just very, very kind of weirdness around all of them because, like, some of the people that have disappeared are, older men, if you will, who has a they have really good lives and all that. So it's kind of something it's very interesting to look into. Or nuke sites going back to World War II. I can't remember. Well, they used to do all. I mean, I'm sure they still do all kinds of things in Area 51, but yeah. Okay. All right. Let me pull this up. I want to show you, for instance, one of there's a couple that I find very interesting more than others. One is an older man. And this is to me what makes it interesting. An older man who just retired. Not, I think he retired not too long ago. At around 11 o'clock in the morning, him and his wife, and there was someone at the house working in the house. The wife leaves at about 11:10 in the morning and she returns about noon. She had to go to a quick doctor's appointment or whatever. He vanishes, said that he went for a walk, didn't take his phone or anything, no trace. All of these people, there's no traces of them. Another woman and her friend was walking and on a trail, and the friend was about 30 yards away. She waves or something, turns back around, and her friend is vanished. Still have not found her to this day. I'll give you some names and all that here shortly. There are also scientists, researchers, and all that that are coming out that are scared, saying, if I go missing, um, please look into this because I don't plan on, they don't plan on doing anything to themselves or anything like that. So, kind of interesting if you ask me. Okay, let me pull the first one up. News Nation and Ross Coulthard did a very interesting uh, one this morning. I'm going to drop the link right here. Let me hold on, let me put this in the description here. Credit's going to go to them. There we go. Okay. Let's go. All right. Watch this. Talk about interesting. All right. Oops. Let me pop it so we don't get any commercials doing it.
2017.
Okay. Watch this right here.
Of reality check, Alex Capriello, who's been in Albuquerque since Monday. Search
Albuquerque.
for General.
Oh, that's what I was looking for. That press conference. I have it here somewhere. I wanted to show you that press conference. Watch
Neil McCasland, who's now been missing for 3 weeks. 3 weeks, Alex. What do we know for sure? Welcome to Reality Check, sir.
It's great to be here with you. It was really fascinating to be able to sit in on that press conference and ask the tough questions that's on the top of everyone's minds directly to the sheriff, as well as the lieutenant who's in charge of this investigation. We learned some new things, and also they
Yes.
backtracked on some of the things that they thought they knew.
And that's the thing, Leslie, right? And we're not just talking about UFOs here, or even like specific companies, or did I say UFOs? We're also looking at foreign governments because of special propulsions that the private companies have been working on for the government for decades.
For example, up to that point, we had been saying that they believed that he had been out in a green shirt that he normally wore and hiking boots. But during this press conference, they clarified that actually they found those hiking boots and they found that green shirt within one of his residences. So that was a new development. All of a sudden, we didn't have a very crystal clear idea of what the general was wearing at the time he disappeared. On top of that, it was also the first time we heard the words mental fog, which they say was a symptom that the general had been experiencing for several months leading up to his disappearance.
Now, this is a respected general. He doesn't live a high profile life, and he doesn't live a high risk life of any sort either. And now they're saying mental fog and all of that. I'm not buying it.
Up to that point, we hadn't ever heard that. We had heard that the general was mentally sharp, that there was no cognitive impairments. So to now all of a sudden have this new understanding that maybe he wasn't of sound mind completely, but still the sharpest and smartest man in the room was a new revelation.
Yes.
But in general, Ross, the interesting thing is there is very little facts that we know up to this point. The investigators don't have very many strong leads to go on, either one way that he left on his own volition or the other way, which is that he was taken against his own will. So I think at this point, they're really hoping that people come forward and share information, or maybe have a video from their own surveillance of the general at least heading in a specific direction. So that way it gives them something further to move forward with.
Alex, I noticed the local sheriff asserted that there's no evidence of foul play. Yet, in and of itself, the disappearance of a major general from a home in Albuquerque with absolutely no one seeing where he's gone, taking his .38 revolver with him, by all accounts, that in and of itself is pretty suspicious, isn't it?
Yeah, didn't take anything else other than a pew-pew. And it's like almost the moment, or he allegedly took a pew-pew, it's missing.
The exact question that I asked Ross. I said, look, are all of these facts that you have put together enough to raise the hairs on your arm as an investigator? And the lieutenant admittedly, said, true. Nothing about this is abnormal. He said that's the reason why we're seeing such a large footprint from investigators trying to get involved, meaning it's not just the local sheriff, the FBI is also involved in this. And he thinks that, in and of itself, all of these red flags does make it suspicious, but at the very same time, they can't say that foul play is involved. They can't rule out foul play, but they can't say that there is foul play. They have to follow the facts that they have, which isn't that many, but they have to follow those facts in this investigation.
Alex, I noticed that there was a request from the sheriff at that press conference for anyone who had a security camera to provide their vision to the police to see if there's any video of the general leaving the house or walking around the area. Is there any evidence?
I think this, in my opinion, this is, I feel like this is perhaps another country related, or maybe even our own government. I don't know. I feel like it's more like that. The secrets that they know just vast amount of information
At all to substantiate the assertion that the general in fact left his home that day, because it's such a narrow window. As I understand it, there was a handyman that was in the house about an hour earlier.
I do too. I watch Ross on 60 Minutes Australia.
And then his wife came back an hour later, and the
Hear that?
general had disappeared in that time.
Listen
A
to that
narrow
again.
window. As I understand it, there was a handyman that was in the house about an hour earlier, and then his wife came back an hour later, and the general had disappeared in that time. Is that correct?
Yes, a handyman in the house, and General is there. General McCasland, his name is William Neal McCasland, and his wife goes to the doctor. She's only gone for about 50 minutes, and he's gone. Hasn't been seen since.
Yeah, that's right. So he was last seen talking to a repairman 10 a.m. Friday, February 27th. At 11 a.m., his wife left for a doctor's appointment. She returned at 12 noon, and he was not there. He was completely gone. So that timeline is critical, and that's where they're hoping that people can look at their Ring doorbell cameras or their at-home surveillance cameras, or, looking at footage that they might have on buildings and businesses and lampposts, looking in that specific window for anything, because as of right now, they don't have.
This is in New Mexico. New Mexico very much reminds you of Arizona, Nancy Guthrie-esque feeling.
Any video surveillance, any video footage that shows the general leaving or heading in a specific direction. And they've tried. They've been canvassing the homes in the neighborhood, 700 homes, I'm told, where they're having really in-depth one-on-one interviews.
Could the members use the squirt bottle on Joe, please?
With the people who live there and asking them to comb through their footage. But as of this time, nothing really exists that shows the general leaving that area.
So to be clear, there is no evidence that he actually left his home. Is there any evidence from his wife that he was planning to go for a walk or a trail run?
No, and in fact, that's also another red flag is, there are things that the general...
Okay, now they're talking about this general's mind being foggy recently and all that. Now, he had retired. Now, one thing I would like to know is if the if they have looked into his health records, just to point that out to make sure he he didn't have a sudden illness and got depressed with that.
Would do
and did something
when he would go hiking. For example, he would wear his hiking boots. He would take his phone with him. He would wear what they're calling a wearable device. I interpret that to mean, an Apple iPhone or sorry, an Apple Watch, something that records your steps and your direction and your hiking patterns.
Hear that?
None of those actually occurred, right? He left his phone at home. He left his wearable device at home. He left his prescription glasses at home. Also, he didn't tell his wife that he was going anywhere or that he was going on a hike. So none of that really makes sense. None of it adds up. And then on top of that, the fact that his .38 revolver is missing from the house, assuming that he took that with him, that's also unusual. He didn't go on hikes with his gun. This was something that we asked too, because we know that there.
Right. Who's going to go on a hike with you're not going to not take your watch and not take anything else except a pew-pew.
There's some big game out here or potentially a threat when out hiking. But his wife told investigators that he never took his gun with him hiking. He would only really use that for overnight camping trips that last multiple days.
And whereabouts are you at the moment, Alex? How close are you to the McCasland family home?
So I'm about a little over a mile east of where the McCasland family lives. I'm around the area where they found that gray United States Air Force sweatshirt, which was also something that they keyed in on earlier. They were able to take pictures of it and show it to the wife. And the wife said, that does not belong to my husband. So while that was an interesting development, it doesn't necessarily connect to the general. Now, as you can see right here behind me, these are the Sandia Mountains. This specifically is the trailhead where the general liked to go hiking. So a lot of the search and rescue efforts that have been made so far from volunteer groups, from the sheriff's departments, from other, people and volunteers that come out here.
Mind-blowing.
A lot of the search and rescue has been done right here in these foothills of the Sandia Mountains, and specifically this trailhead. They know based on his digital footprint, meaning his cell phone data and his Apple Watch data, that he liked to hike this specific area. Also, not to mention, they spoke to so many people that go hiking with the general. So they're really concentrating their efforts to try to find and locate him or his body in this area, but they've had no luck at all.
Is there any detail, Alex, at all on the extent of or the cause of the general's alleged mental fog? Because I have to be honest with you and say I've spoken to people who know the general.
His wife is, she does an interview and she's like very careful with her words. You can tell she's a very calm demeanor. And she's not like blaming anybody or anything like that. I'll show it to you here shortly. And I'm going to show you another case.
Who've been quite concerned at the representations that have been made that he was in some way mentally incapacitated. They're not buying it. They say that as far as they were aware, there was no evidence of the general suffering any mental incapacity. What do we know about that? Did the sheriffs provide any more details?
No, I was a little alarmed at that too, just because this had been a 2-week-long investigation, and it was the first time we had ever heard about a mental fog. Where did that term come from, and why out of nowhere are you telling it to us now? When I pressed the sheriff's department about that, they essentially said that this was something that the general had been experiencing for several months before the disappearance. They said it led him to actually drop out of various groups that he belonged to. I interpreted that to mean social clubs or maybe nonprofits or things that he generally participated in. But they also did not really expand much more on that other than saying he had been experiencing it for several months and that it impaired his ability to participate in these groups. But that was also the basis of the silver alert that they sent out
now
after
listen to
he
this.
disappeared. It was because he is considered a senior citizen and because he had reportedly been feeling these mental foggy symptoms.
They did a silver alert, but this doesn't really sit under, maybe a silver alert, but I just don't.
That they were able to make that silver alert, push it out to the public.
I guess the horrible thought is, the horrible possibility is he left his phone, his watch at home. He seems to have taken his .38 revolver with him. Was the awful possibility that this might be a suicide, the general leaving his home and slipping out into the mountains where he could never be found, was that floated with the sheriff? Was it something that was actively discussed in the press conference?
Yeah, I asked point blank whether or not there was any other behavioral symptoms that the general was feeling other than this mental fogginess. Specifically, I asked about the possibility of depression or suicidal thoughts. And the sheriff and the lieutenant said that this was not something that his wife had reported him saying out loud or maybe was concerned about. Obviously, we know that depression can be hidden. People don't always let on
That's true.
exactly what they're feeling inside. And so I think that is a theory that people are considering for the general's ultimate outcome. There's, like I mentioned, a ton of hidden areas in this forest where if someone did not want to be found, they could probably do that and hide themselves. But there's just really no evidence to say that is what is the most likely outcome. It is a possibility. But again, the wife did not report saying that he had been experiencing symptoms of depression or suicidal ideations.
Okay, we're going to get back to him in just a second. But first, I want to show you guys a little bit about who all is missing. Who all is missing right here. It's going to go to Fox News. Right here.
With ties to national security, just outside of Stephen Garcia was a property custodian at a facility with ties to national security, just outside of Albuquerque. Reports are that Stephen Garcia walked out of his home and then disappeared. He reportedly left behind his phone, his wallet, his keys, his car. What he did take with him?
And so many of them that are missing all don't take their wallet, don't take their keys, don't take their car, none of that.
A handgun. There are some reports that Garcia might.
And just like the gentleman was just William McCasland, the older man, he took a pew-pew as well.
Might have suffered from mental health. And perhaps those details, as part of a pattern, would support that assumption. Maybe Garcia intended to do harm to himself. But then we move to the case of Melissa Casias. Melissa Casias was a Los Alamos National Lab administrative assistant. Now, her family suggests she did not have access to highly classified information. They suggest that she was a property procurement administrative assistant for routine office supplies. But she, too, walked away. She dropped off lunch for her daughter, and told her family she was going to work from home. She was then last seen walking alone down a...
And it's very interesting. All of these people, generally, when you look into them, they all have very strong family ties, which is very important in a lot lot
State road before vanishing. Now, here's the interesting detail that we keep finding
1000%.
repetitively. She walked away without her keys, her cell phone, her wallet, her purse, or her car. Now, there is a possible break in her case. Shoes were found in the Carson National Forest, matching what she was wearing, with DNA results still pending. Melissa Casias' family does not believe that her case is connected to any of these other so-called missing or dead scientists. But then finally, there's Anthony Chavez. Anthony Chavez was a 78-year-old man. He was a former Los Alamos National Lab worker who did, in fact, have connections to highly secretive and classified materials out of Los Alamos. And he was linked to General McCasland. He oversaw Chavez nuclear research, and he was last.
Yes, the General McCasland that I just showed you that went missing. Anthony Chavez, there are links to him and General McCasland. They are both missing.
Again, seen leaving his home on foot.
Now, others have died in very unusual circumstances. Not all of them are missing. Some of them have died in just very weird circumstances.
Reported missing last May. His car still in the driveway. His wallet and keys left behind. One interesting detail, if we're trying to rule out possibilities or...
Again, his car keys, wallet, everything in the house. Not a trace still.
Factor in common sense. If any of these people intended to do themselves harm, maybe you leave your phone behind. Maybe you don't take your keys. One detail about Chavez is he also left behind his cigarettes. Now, I'm not a smoker, but People tend to take their cigarettes wherever they go, sometimes even as an act of last resort. Interesting detail, a lot of interesting details that don't tell us there is a conspiracy, but force us to continue to ask more questions. No clear connection, but unsettling details every time. We'll start.
No. They don't all live in New Mexico. No. Several, they live throughout the country. All right, let me show you this right here. This other case. This is another one that I find very, very interesting. Oops. Let me fix this. Credit's going to go.
Action by the House Oversight Committee could mean answers soon. This is the hiking area deep in the Angeles National Forest where rocket scientist Reza mysteriously went missing last summer. The 60-year-old experienced hiker was with two friends that Sunday on the Mount Waterman Trail. According to one friend, Reza was about 30 feet back, smiling and waving at one point, and when they turned around again, she was gone. And despite multiple extensive searches by hikers and authorities, there's been no trace of her. Reza created and patented a nickel-based alloy called Mondaloy, which has helped the U.S. eliminate reliance on foreign sources for propulsion technology. News Nation among the first to report that Reza worked closely with Air Force General William Neal McCasland.
Yes. So Reza, McCasland, and the guy that I just... do I have his name again? Those all three are connected. And that's just really freaking weird. I mean, at least three of them right there, all missing. Now, you're not going to convince me that all three of them went and off themselves. No. Not when they're in their 60s and 79 years old. 60s, 70s, and nearly 80 years old.
Who also mysteriously disappeared 2 months ago. Authorities believe he went on a hike behind his New Mexico home, but his wife said it was unlike him not to tell her where he was going or to leave without his phone and keys. McCasland had managed classified information on UFOs and UAPs. The House Oversight Committee has just sent letters to various federal agencies raising questions about a possible sinister connection between the disappearances of not only McCasland and Reza, but nearly a dozen scientists who've either died or vanished over the past few years. Most have links to sensitive military, nuclear, and aerospace research. In the case of Reza, trails in the...
Which is all in the interest of national security, right? So it's something someone doesn't want out, or something that an adversary might want.
The area where she vanished are deep in the Angeles National Forest, but they are well marked. Though even very experienced hikers say much of the Pacific Crest is known for being treacherous.
I mean, you're with someone hiking, you're having a good day, you're having a good experience, you're 30 yards, you wave, you walk up a little bit more, you turn around, and she's gone. And there has not been a single trace of her. And again, this sounds like it's something very, very professional. Very professional. And when it's very professional, it is very hard to A, get answers, and B, prove. I was watching in the UK was it the UK? I think it was the UK a few years ago. There was allegedly the Russian government had accused unalive someone in a parking garage, and they had pew-pewed him in the parking garage. The the guy who like manages the parking attendant or whatever was right there, and they heard nothing. They couldn't believe it. They was like, I heard nothing. It was virtually silent.
Reza's missing flyers are now posted at various points.
Yesterday called our
I
attention
don't know
because
that.
we saw the sign, help us to find Monica, because we're hikers, it touches even more, knowing the risks, but unfortunately it happens, and sometimes it happens that people were never found.
The Oversight Committee notes in their letter to Secretary of War Pete Hegseth just a week ago that they had asked the department about the growing mystery, but the department responded by noting no action.
Okay. So this is Monica Reza and Anthony Chavez, 79 years old. She's like 60. And then there is Mr. What's his name? I can't think of his name right now. The other guy, General, I'll think of his name in a second. Give me a second. I'll think of it. I can't think of it right now.
Active national security investigations of any current or former staffers with DOW
William
clearance.
McCasland.
Now, the Oversight Committee is asking for briefings on the
McCasland.
disappearances and deaths no later than April 27th.
And now there is, people in our Congress actually speaking out about it, which is good. They need to be, right? They need to be. Here is another gentleman, a much younger gentleman. His name is Joshua LeBlanc. He worked for NASA in the nuclear propulsion for the for Mars, essentially, for the Mars trip. And I'll show you a picture of him. He thank you so much, CZ. Appreciate you, my friend. Is Nancy's military son connected to this work? Oh, wow. That's very interesting, CZ. I don't know. He is a pilot. He was in the military as well. I think it's probably unrelated, but still, nonetheless, that's interesting. You never know. That's a very good question, CZ. Very good question. And also,
just 2.5 miles.
17 earthquakes in the area of Area 51 recently. That's abnormally bizarre. Brandywine is late. Oh my God. Brandywine, 43 minutes, 14 seconds late to the office, please. Brandywine, 43 minutes, 19 seconds late to the office, please. We need a late slip for our dear Brandywine.
The area is normally not prone to earthquakes this shallow, and it's leading to theories of nuclear testing or even UFOs because it all happened after.
And these earthquakes are shallow, right? Shallow.
President Trump said this.
Do you have an update on the UFO files and when we're going to be seeing them?
Well, I think we're going to be releasing as much as we can in the near future. They want to find out about the UFOs and anything having to do with UFO or related material. And we're going to be releasing a lot of things that we have. And I think some of it's going to be very interesting.
Joining us now to respond, Dr. Stephen Greer, UFO researcher in retired position. Great to see you, doctor. So are these earthquakes just a version of burning the files at an embassy when people got to get out?
Well, the thing that lights up in my mind is that back in the 1990s, I briefed a man who worked and designed the security apparatus at some of the facilities out there, particularly the ones up near Groom Lake and Pahut Mesa. And he explained that on the top of those complexes underground were like bunker busting type bombs, but underneath them were thermonuclear devices, so that if anybody was getting close to those facilities, and by this, it could even be the legal government of the United States, they could collapse those facilities. Now, I don't know that that's what happened, but I know for a fact those security systems are out there. So that's one consideration. Now, it could just be a cluster of earthquakes, or they could be doing some legitimate underground testing out in that region.
Yeah, there are a lot of mountains out there, so earthquakes are not out of the question. But we just heard President Trump promising disclosure. What does disclosure actually mean in your mind?
Well, I founded the disclosure movement at 25 years ago at the National Press Club event where we had 20 top secret.
They've been saying disclosure for literally 30 years.
Military and
they're not going to tell
government
us anything they
people
don't want.
Disclose their information. We're going to do another one on May 8th, coming up a week from Friday. And what we have found is that the government, meaning the constitutional government, was pretty much left out of the loop on this beginning in the late 1950s. And this is why when I spoke to
I mean, there is things so secretive here that, Congress doesn't know. I mean, lots of very, very high governmental officials do not know even.
President Trump's former national security advisor from his first term, they were never briefed on this. And I found this to be true all across government, both here and abroad. And yet the evidence is overwhelming that we're not alone, that there's a lot being kept secret, but the center of gravity of it is not in the government, it's in the corporations. My uncle spent his whole career with Northrop Grumman, so the large aerospace corporations are holding most of these secrets and run most of those facilities.
Why do you think they're holding the secrets? Is it because they just don't want us to freak out? Like, what's
that,
the
Mish?
purpose of keeping it all behind closed doors, whether it's the government or a corporation that's a private company?
Well, I think there are two main reasons. The first is that the technologies of how those operate was figured out in the mid 1950s, what are called electromagnetic systems or anti-gravity. The energy sources from the quantum vacuum or 0 point, we don't have time to go into that. And those being disclosed would eventually replace all oil, gas, coal in the world, and would also give us a completely cleaned environment, but also in poverty globally. And so there's been this debate for decades. So when does this come out? When do we acknowledge these? Because there's no way you can acknowledge they're real and that there's been a reverse engineering program that's gone on for over 70 or 80 years and then say there's nothing that's come of that. I mean, the most brilliant scientific minds I've ever met work in covert programs related to this technology.
So we've been covering this story on the show and on the network. There's been this disappearance or deaths surrounding 12 or more scientists or people who work closely to government secrets.
Okay, these 6 right here are deceased, kind of very usual circumstances, and these are missing. Now, again, Amy's was 2022, Michael's 2023, Frank 2024, Nuno 2025, Carl 2026, Joshua 2025, McCasland 2026, Monica 2025, Jason 2025, Melissa 2025, Anthony 2025, and Steve 2025. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 are from 2024 to 2026. 1 is 2023 and the other one is 2022. No way, Jose.
Who had highly classified clearances, just walking into the desert, on a hike, disappearing with no trace. Based on what you've seen in the backgrounds of each of these different people on your screen, do you think that they're related in any way?
Well, they could be. Some of them may most certainly are. I think Mr. Sullivan and Amy Eskridge, who both were, one was going to come forward as a whistleblower and died, and the other one had technology related to what I just referred to, who was not suicidal, who was made to look like a suicide. Now, whether all of them are related to this, I don't know. General McCasland from Wright-Patterson Air Force Base may have disappeared himself, because I've been working with a team of people with U.S. law enforcement handing off whistleblowers. We have 760 of them now, which have implicated certain people in criminal activities, child trafficking.
Hold on. What?
One disappeared himself.
Hold on.
Who was made to look like a suicide.
Hold on. Wait, I missed that.
Amy Eskridge, who both were, one was going to come forward as a whistleblower and died, and the other one had technology related to what I just referred to, who was not suicidal, who was made to look like a suicide. Now, whether all of them are related to this, I don't know. General McCasland from Wright-Patterson Air Force Base may have disappeared himself, because I've been working with a team of people with U.S. law enforcement handing off whistleblowers. We have 760 of them now, which have implicated certain people in criminal activities, child trafficking, human trafficking using advanced UAPs.
Right. Have you heard from have you heard from Mr. McCasland, or
no? I haven't.
Any of the folks who are missing?
No, none of these people. But we did a film that came out, a documentary a couple of years ago called The Lost Century. And The Lost Century documents that over the decades, many people have been killed related to this issue, and particularly the technology part of it. Because, and frankly, I won't say which company, but there's a large government contractor who has a security officer that has been involved in targeted killings of certain people. Yeah.
Well, we will follow up. We will be watching this.
Damn. This guy, usually people on the news are very diplomatic. Not this guy. Hey, damn. Good to see you, my dear. He's like, there's a certain company that hires the off people, is what he said. I wonder what company that is.
For sure. You'll be back in the D.C. area for the 25th anniversary of this disclosure project next week. As you mentioned, we look forward to tuning in and learning more. Dr. Stephen Greer, thanks for joining us. Great to see you.
Thank you. Hope to see you.
That's Dr. Stephen Greer. Okay. All right. Let me show you this. So this guy, from his name is Dr. Gregory Rogers. He is retired chief of aerospace medicine. He addresses something. He talks. Let me see if this is the one. 1 second. Damn. 1 second here. Make sure that's. Bear with me, guys. 1 second. As I pulled it. He 1 second. Okay, I'll play that in just a second. Give me 1 second. Thank you, little black bear. Thank you, my love. Really appreciate that support. Thank you, baby. It's good to see you. We love you, Justin, and everything you're doing. Thank you so much, my love. Love you, little black bear. Really do appreciate you very much. Thank you for your support. So very kind of you, my dear. The fellow is brave. They are brave. There's been some documents that got released about some of these self-propulsion. That's what they're really looking at. Trove of leaked documents prove U.S. lab where missing scientists worked was studying UFOs, documentary claims. And let me show you here. A trove of documents from the now dead cybersecurity chief from Los Alamos National Laboratory, where 2 of the 11 missing or dead U.S. scientists worked, purported to show that the U.S. government secretly conducted UFO-related experiments for decades, according to the documentary. Reporter Jeremy Corbell claims that the upcoming flick Sleeping Dog is what the documentary is called, that he received the valuable classified documents from the son of the deceased ex-cybersecurity chief at a highly secretive New Mexico lab. Quote, throughout my work as a journalist, I have become a central clearinghouse for sensitive, unidentified aerial phenomena material in my reporting, Corbell said at the Post. Quote, it is now routine for families of deceased insiders to contact me with hidden documents their loved ones left behind, end quote. Quote, this kid, after his dad passed away, starts going through his effects, his stuff, and realizes, quote, oh, this is some heavy stuff, Corbell said in a documentary which was previewed by the Post. Quote, I start noticing I know some of the names. I know some of the scientists personally. They've never told me that they did these studies on UFOs, end quote, Corbell said. The identities of the lab chiefs, his son, and the scientists are withheld in the documentary for safety concerns. The film is, it's supposed to release May 17th. This out of the world leak contains internal memos, drawings, and Polaroids, according to Corbell. And there's some of those photos right there. Very interesting. Excuse me. These documents provide absolute confirmation that U.S. government has maintained a secret, decades-long program to uncover the intent and origins of those piloting UFOs, end quote. Corbell said one document shows the agenda of a high-level all-day meeting on April 24th, 1991 at Los Alamos, where representatives from the CIA, National Security Administration, Navy, and Army met to discuss the investigation into, quote, atmosphere anomalies, end quote. The discussion included the 1987 Gulf Breeze UFO incident in Florida and the Belgian UFO wave in 1989, the document lays out. Other issues addressed in the meeting were, quote, Soviet offerings, end quote, the, quote, development of sensors, end quote, and how to, quote, interface with the civilian sector, i.e. universities such as MIT and Stanford, end quote. The highly secretive Los Alamos National Lab, founded by the father of the atom bomb, Robert Oppenheimer, has had two former employees vanish without a trace within the year. Retiree engineer Anthony Chavez was last seen in May 2025 when he disappeared while going for a walk. Actually, there's been three, not two. There has been three linked to this. The woman, and then there is William Neal McCasland as well. And then there is 78-year-old Anthony Chavez, which I showed you him just a minute ago. He was last seen May 2025 when he disappeared while going for a walk. The 78-year-old left both of his wallet and keys at home, and his body has not been found despite weeks of searching. The new trailer releases for the upcoming documentary about the UFO investigators Jeremy Corbell, titled Sleeping Dog. I've been holding a secret for 11 years, it says. Melissa Casias, 39, worked as an administrative assistant in the lab and disappeared in June 2025 after dropping lunch off to her daughter. I showed you that earlier. Melissa, whose husband also works for Los Alamos, was last seen on surveillance footage walking along a highway alone. It's so weird to me. Pam, thank you so much, baby. Appreciate your support. Thank you very much, my dear. Your family as well. Like, it's got to be something, even if they know information that they just can't take anymore, right? And it's just drove them nuts. Or if they've been around some well, I mean, 5 of them have been found dead under mysterious circumstances, and 5 are missing, right? Maybe not all 10 or 12, but come on. At least some of them. We know 3 are allegedly connected, at least. Now get this. Both, hold on. Oh, wow. So get this. Retired engineer Anthony Chavez, like I said, he was last seen in May 2020 when he disappeared while going for a walk. The 78-year-old both left his wallet and keys, and his body was not found despite weeks of searching. Melissa Casias, am I saying that right? That's annoying me if I'm not saying it right. One second. Casias, 39. She worked as an administrative assistant at the lab, and she disappeared in June of 2025 after dropping lunch dropping lunch off to her daughter. She, whose husband also works there, like I said, was last seen on surveillance footage walking along a highway alone. Both of them, their home phone and work phone, were reset. Oh, sorry, not her husband. I think the article's meaning the one above, Chavez and Melissa. Both of them's home phone and work phone were reset to factory setting and left at her home. Hold on. Is her husband and her missing? Both missing? Hold on. Let me check that out. Hold on. Her husband, Mark, insists she walked away on her own. Her parents and siblings are certain something far worse happened. Let me see here. Okay, so her husband's still alive. Her husband is still alive. But this one's very interesting. I'm going to dig into that a little bit more because the family in this incident is saying something else is going on here, they think, in their opinion. Missing Air Force General William McCasland, he was the first older gentleman that we was speaking about, who was a, quote, gatekeeper, end quote, the UFO subject, on the UFO subject I've got something wrong with my left eye today. I think I've got something in it or something. Had indirect ties with Los Angeles National Laboratory due to his oversight of nuclear research program, which are conducted at the lab. Like, he's probably the most high ranking out of them all, they're all very, very high ranking, but out of them all, President Trump acknowledged the troubling trend of missing U.S. scientists on April 16th, saying reporters from the South Lawn, quote, I hope it's random, quote, some of them are very important people, and we're going to look at it over the next short period. Okay. So William McCasland, the one we was just talking about, his wife spoke out, but he's the one that had the maintenance guy at the home, and his wife went to a doctor's appointment. She was gone about 50 minutes. Okay. This is some of the press conference.
Not making a mistake, and we are human. And if we do make a mistake, that we fix it and that we go forward and we move along with it. But so far in the current status of Mr. McCasland, he remains missing. And I will discuss a lot of the items that you'll see up here on the screen. The silver alert still remains in effect, and I will get that updated here shortly. There is no confirmed sightings to this date, and we'll provide some new information here to you here shortly.
Every single one of them don't take their phone, don't take anything, except some of them do take pew-pews. Is that because they are depressed, or they're going to maybe defend themselves?
Agency roles. The Bernalillo County Sheriff's Office, we are the lead investigative agency. Again, as I mentioned before, FBI here in Albuquerque, a great partner that we have, assisting specifically, as you can see, when we have tools, tactics, or any other techniques that can be utilized to assist in any investigation, just not missing persons, but any case that we are here investigating in Albuquerque, it's a great asset to have. The Air Force of Special Investigations, acronym is AFOSI. They help us as needed. I'm an honorary base commander with the Kirtland Air Force Base, so we have a great relationship with them also. Whenever we have someone that's in a military status or anything as far as Mr. McCasland, it's important for us to communicate with the Air Force Base, just not here, but also around the nation. Also, the New Mexico DPS and the New Mexico State Police Search and Rescue, and coordinating search and rescue and all of the resources. Without them, we've had a lot of stuff in the foothills, the mountains as of late, just not specific to this case, but very important to use those resources also. It's vast. It's a lot of...
You take your coonhound. I take my attack monkey. That's what I take. Pearl is very jealous.
For mileage,
she gets very
there's
jealous.
A lot of hidden areas. There's rocky areas. There's areas people can get injured in. Very important to have all the necessary tools in that respect. Also, the volunteer search and rescue teams. They are, a lot of people don't remember that they are left out a lot of times. They're volunteer from all over the state, and they respond all over, and they assist us, our open space units, on a consistent basis. I'd like to personally thank each and every...
I think this has to do with propulsion, in my opinion. I think it's, I mean, guys, we as Americans, I don't want this to get political because I don't do politics, but as Americans' defense, we spend more than every other country on the planet combined, far more than anybody else per year in our defense. And of course, it's much easier for other countries to replicate us. And it's easier to replicate than it is to invent. So we're always doing research and trying to invent things, right? And I think this has been, going on for a long time. So I think this is governmental. Why? I don't know. Well, not necessarily why this happened, but I do believe I feel like it has something to do with propulsions.
Every one of them for helping us in this case, as we might be searching as we go forward. I'll give you a timeline of what has transpired. We've been on our social media. We've done some press releases on the timelines, making sure that you're all caught up to date. I'm not here to say that's not a lot of information we can't share. But I want to make sure that we have all of our facts, dot our I's and cross our T's, so all of the facts are there. So the verified timeline, morning of February 27th of 2026 at 10 a.m., a repairman was at the residence and he interacted with Mr. McCasland.
I mean, I'm sure that they've looked into that repairman, right? I hope so. 10 a.m. repairman at residence interacted with Mr. McCasland. 11:10, Mrs. McCasland left for a medical appointment. Now look at this. 12:04, Mr. McCasland is not there. Less than an hour, something happened.
And as you move over at 11:10 a.m., Mrs. McCasland Wilkerson left for a medical appointment. At 12:04 p.m., Mr. McCasland returned home, or Mrs. McCasland returned home, and Mr. McCasland was not there. As we move further, at 3:07 p.m., items at the home, phone, prescription, glasses, wearable devices, he was reported missing, and Bernalillo County Sheriff's Office responded, took a report, and the investigation began into a missing persons case. During this investigation and the search efforts, we did provide a neighborhood canvas, and it was expanded and it was vast. It was 700 homes. This is when you saw us come out in the media to ask
homes.
And go with our QR code for any video.
Oh my God, there's my widow baby. Listen, girl, don't you dare go through Arizona or New Mexico anymore. Please, when you're driving. Thank you, widow. 15 months. I am clutching my pearls. Thank you so much. Justin, did you receive my text from earlier? Oh, I just now seen it. Let me see here. It was a Tucson news last night. Oh, okay. Mass thief caught on camera stealing plants near Nancy Guthrie's home. Oh. Can I show this real quick, guys? Do you mind? That one's quick med. That's one quick meta point. Well, you know, some people just go get their blood done or stuff like that. That's my weekly route. I know, I know it is. That's why I said that. Widow. Hold on. This is, I'm going to show something that's completely unrelated to the UFO 10 missing, 12 missing. This is Nancy Guthrie. Widow just sent this to me. I want to see
blocks away from Nancy Guthrie's neighborhood, making the rounds online tonight. And it was taken just last night, showing a masked person in gloves walking up a private driveway in the middle of the night and taking a potted cat.
Yes, I can play that, Lolo. 24 months. You guys are phenomenal. We love you all. Appreciate you. He stole several potted plants. I guess people just, I don't know. I don't believe that, you know, whatever his name is, you know, this freakazoid right here. I don't think he's going to be stealing potted plants, in my opinion. Love you too, lady. Look at y'all shine. How you doing? Thank you so much. You guys are little cuties. Appreciate your 11 months. CZ wants you guys to know she is making a sandwich. Make a good sandwich. Make a good sandwich, girl. Humans are made of protons, neutrons, and electrons. The more you know, the more you know.
Lord, kumbaya. Someone.
There you go. The say something earlier about a silver truck being investigated. Silver truck being investigated. I don't think so. I don't know.
Cacti. News for Tucson's Jacob Owens joins us from the foothills with why this video, Jacob, is causing some concern tonight.
Monica, that's right. If this were any other situation, this video likely would not be getting this sort of attention, but it's not a difference.
If any of you guys live in the desert and want to send me some cactus cuttings, I'll pay you.
Scenario. This was less than a mile from Nancy Guthrie's home here in the foothills. It's a neighborhood that's been on edge for weeks and actually months. Tomorrow marks 90 days since Nancy Guthrie disappeared from her home here in the foothills, and that's 3 months. So a video surfacing of a man in a mask on private property is raising some surprise with a neighbor I spoke with.
Oh, hell no. You are not Martha Stewart, sir. What is wrong with you? Jeannie, my little Jeannie Jean. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, baby. Thank you, lovely. Thank you, Jeannie. Really appreciate you. It's on the news last night. Thank you so much, Jeannie, and thank you for being a member of the Pearl family. I really do appreciate you. Yeah, I have a little greenhouse, and mainly it's cactus and succulents. I mean, I have a lot of tropical stuff too, but my passion is monkey tail cactus, actually.
This neighbor,
I thought about doing a channel, but of my plants and stuff, but shit, I don't know if I have enough time to do it.
Who posted, so take a look. The neighbor who posted the video from last night wants to remain anonymous, we should say, but says that the video shows a gray Ford F-150 pulling into their driveway just before 11. Moments later, a man wearing gloves, a face mask, and a baseball cap gets out of the truck, walks toward the front of the home, and begins loading several potted cacti into the bed of the pickup. The homeowner later posted the video.
What's weird to me is who steals cactus in freaking Arizona? Like, that's what's weird to me. You just too lazy to pot them yourself? Like, they're everywhere.
Video to the Ring app, where it quickly started circulating through the Catalina foothills. We reached out to the sheriff's department asking if they had seen the video, and they say they have not been advised of anything like this, but they do say they will keep me posted. And while there's no indication that the incident is connected to the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie, one neighbor tells me the location of this, while there is an increased law enforcement presence in this area, makes this a shock.
It is someone walking on your property late at night, uninvited, committing, it might be a small crime, but committing a crime. And it is disturbing. It drives to point home that we have to be.
Okay, now, maybe that's it, Brandy. Because some people call SUVs trucks. I don't call them trucks, but some people do. Like, I have a Yukon, a GMC Yukon, and there's like trucks, GMC Yukons, I think, and then there is SUVs. One's just covered and the other one's not. So I guess mine is considered a truck, if you will, but I call it an SUV. So, but yes, Brandy, there has been reports on silver Range Rovers. I do believe there could be 2 Range Rovers. I really do. He's so nonchalant. It's a prank for sure. I mean, I don't think it's a prank necessarily. I think sometimes people will steal your plants. It is true. It is true. Plants are expensive. It's listen, if you go to the greenhouse, right, and you buy the plants, buy the dirt, like the Miracle Grow dirt. It's $15 a bag now, and it's a big pod. You're going to have well over $100 in a pod of plants. I mean, plants are expensive. So I love my Suburban. Her name is Shayla. You little Shayla. That's cute. That's cute.
Watchful, be aware of our homes, but also of our neighbors.
Monica, again, this is a good reminder for people who live in this neighborhood.
I'm going to name my car Ethel. Sheila and Ethel. How about that? Widow baby. I'm sorry, Justin. I didn't mean to derail. Oh, no, you didn't derail it. This is only a couple minutes. You're good. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Don't apologize. Thank you for sending that. I appreciate you. Listen, guys, always send me something. Text it, email it, whatever. You might think Justin already has this. I may not. Okay. And if I have it already, I just delete it and thank you. That's all. So absolutely send me everything if you
check their doorbell cameras or ring cameras, because the Pima County Sheriff's Department, now nearly 3 months into the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie, is continuing to ask people to submit any relevant footage to the case. Reporting live in the foothills, Jacob Owens, News 4 Tucson.
I don't know. I don't think it's really related, in my opinion, but that is true. There was reports of a silver vehicle. Yeah. Nana, I would have stolen that goose. Nana, I would have stolen that goose. What did Nana say? People are stealing anything. Someone stole my 80-pound concrete. You know something? One of the ladies I know at the bank, someone stole her concrete Mother Mary statue. And I was like, you're going to hell. You stole Mother Mary. Like, you are going straight to hell. That was my first car, Little Black Bear, a 1982 Chavez. And it had, I swear on everything, it had 400 and some thousand miles when I bought it. I paid $150 for it from a drunk. And I kept it about 3 months. And I don't even, I think and I took it home, and my grandmother, I was raised by my grandmother, she was like, oh, baby. Like, she was from the Depression era too. And she's like, oh, we can't do nothing. And I was shocked to hear her say that.
For any intel, for any technology devices that you had, for any recordings of Mr. McCasland or anything suspicious during that time, this is what we asked for. We will continue to ask for that. If you come across any information, which you will see on another slide, please continue to give us that information. We will exhaust every lead and go over every tip that we have to make sure that we do not miss anything. Again, the public are our eyes and ears.
Well, like the Dollar Tree, especially in some certain areas now, they're putting things behind glass at the Dollar Tree now. Stuff that costs $1.25 and $1.50. I mean, it's bad. That's bad.
We work for you, and we would like you to assist us and make sure that we can bring this case to some type of resolution, no matter what that is, but we ask for your help and continued help. Video request and review is still ongoing. Search efforts have included drones, helicopter support, ground operations, and numerous canine searches. There has been no confirmed video or sighting showing the direction of travel that Mr. McCasland took when he was reported missing at 3:07.
Now, this is interesting, right? Because he's technically a missing, he's not technically a missing person. He is a missing person, but they are investigating this. But they are bluntly telling us they don't know even which way he went. They don't know which way he even went. And how is all of these people missing, and there's nothing on camera, nothing of them, clothing, articles of clothing, anything, and they all don't take their stuff, except maybe a pew-pew. Not that Dollarama reminds me of Janie. We're going to have a good live here in a little bit on Jack
on that
Lily.
day. A follow-up was conducted on his recent travel. And the new information that I can give you also is we are conducting a Pagosa Springs home that was searched, and it is ongoing. Next slide, please. Items located during the search. As you can see here,
Listen to this.
Is a United States Air Force shirt.
Okay, this is unrelated, by the way. It's
a
now
gray U.S. Air Force sweatshirt located approximately.
But they are running tests on it. This could be maybe this is from someone that knows him.
1.25 miles east of the residence on March 7th. It was collected and processed. No blood was detected in the initial processing. Not confirmed by family or friends to be associated with Mr. McCasland, but since this evidence did have United States Air Force and we are still testing it, we take every lead into an account, and we're making sure that that lead takes us somewhere and it will still be logged into evidence. From this, it prompted an additional targeted search in the area, and that is also where the Federal Bureau of Investigation assisted us and numerous other detectives to not only do a neighborhood canvass, but a grid search of the area.
Hey, Zach, good to see you. Was you in Nova Scotia? After a few days in Nova Scotia, I have so much respect for all the boots on the ground. I can't imagine how hot it is in Tucson. It's exhausting here, and it's cold. Are you in Tucson or Nova Scotia? That's amazing.
To look for any other evidence in the field on paths or any other known area of travel that Mr. McCasland took. I told you on the silver alert, and let me clear up a couple of questions. Everybody's asking why a silver alert on Mr. McCasland. With New Mexico state statute, a silver alert does not require a formal diagnosis of any mental deterioration. The reason being also is because Mr. McCasland is over 50 years of age.
Dolores, where have you been, girl? So good to see you. I was wondering about you, my dear. Thank you so much. Hi, everybody. Love you. We love you too. Thank you so very, very much. I appreciate you, Miss Dolores. Thank you. So good to see you, honey. Yes, Nova Scotia. You're awesome. Thank you so much, Zach. I appreciate you. Thank you. I would like to go to Nova Scotia, but I would like to do it. And the problem is I go live almost every day. I would like to go to Nova Scotia with Daphne, particularly, and go undetected. So I would have to start making videos probably to do that, and just film some extra videos. That's what I would really like to do. I love people in Nova Scotia. It's a beautiful place. Great people. Yeah. Really, just about anywhere you go is people are good. Truly. It doesn't matter where. I love my Canadians and I love everybody actually, but most people are good. Doesn't matter where you're from. It's the government that screw people. Just in Nova Scotia in the summer is so magical. Zach, is there a lot of black flies right now? I totally understand that. Daphne is amazing too. Yeah. Daphne, I think Daphne and I could, I would like to look at some areas for sure. Dolores, I had the flu. Oh my God, Dolores. Are you feeling better? I'm so sorry. Was it A or B? I love you too. Thank you, Miss Dolores. I'm glad you're feeling better, honey. Hawaiian flowers and skirt would be great. Yes, once you're in the deep woods, it gets buggy for sure. Yeah. The black flies, I've never seen so many black flies. And I've heard the mosquitoes are really bad. My uncle went hunting in Canada several years ago, and he was talking about the mosquitoes were horrible. I mean, mosquitoes are bad everywhere, but sure in the swampy areas. I can't can you imagine? Because Nova Scotia's got a lot of swamps and stuff. That would be really bad. Sassy. No, ma'am. You thought you was just going to sashay in here and nobody was going to see that, didn't you, girl? Mm-mm. No, ma'am. And I need to get Lolo too, by the way. Sassy and Lolo to the office, please. You're being paged. Sassy and Lolo to the office, please. You're being paged. We need a late slip for Sassy and Armand Lolo. Only Daphne. Not just, well, I think Daphne and I could, her and I work. We think a lot in our investigative skills, I think. Oh, well, you're late too, ma'am. Excuse me. I am so sorry. Late slip for our dear Dreamcatcher. Dreamcatcher to the office, please. Dreamcatcher to the office, please. Really appreciate you. Well, I would not be scared to go at all. But I would like to do it undetected. I think that would be best. I mean, once I got there and did what I needed to do, I would fire up a lab and be like,
state that he was experiencing a mental fog. And because of this information that we received, we decided to do a silver alert.
Not if
Mr. McCasland, it was confirmed, was looking in to some of his mental fog, but out of respect for the family, I will not go into any further detail on the state of any of his any type of mental issues. New information that came up here over the weekend. Items recently located is a light green long sleeve button up outdoor shirt, hiking boots, but please remember, let's be practical. Mr. McCasland probably had more than one pair of hiking boots.
Oh my God, Sassy.
Located at his Pagosa Springs house were these items. Items that are still unaccounted for are his wallet, a .38 caliber revolver, and a leather holster. I will have Lieutenant Kyle Woods go over some other details of belongings that Mr. McCasland possibly had.
This is weird. It's just very weird. Very rainy the past couple days. Hopefully the weather tomorrow. Yeah, it's cool here right now. It's like 59, 60.
And any other further details in the investigation to answer some of your questions.
A little red.
And also, as you see in the picture, a red backpack.
Okay, I want to show you this real quick.
How can you help? Again, as I stated before, checking your video from the timelines of February 27th and February 28th. Our priority window being our most concerned window.
Recent was the mental fog statement. Was it immediate?
Okay. Now, again, some say that he's had some mental fog for the past several months, but to me, that's not enough, in my opinion. All right, now we're going to go to Elizabeth Vargas, who was on our friends at News Nation. Guys, make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button or double tapping that screen. When I park or deliver in a shady place, I wrap my seatbelt through my door. And yes, that's a very, I saw that on a short, and that's a very good thing. mental fog. Define that, please. And that's a good thing. Like, what do they, when he says mental fog? I mean, we can think about what mental fog is, but had he been diagnosed with something or whatever? Oops, 1 second. Bear with me. Why does it keep going?
Is tied together in some malevolent plot. Clearly, some of the missing disappeared under unusual circumstances, but others appear to be run-of-the-mill tragedies. Heartbreaking, but perhaps not sinister.
Arizona.
And as any seasoned detective will tell you, red herrings can confuse and unravel even the most thorough investigations. At the center of the puzzle is General Neil McCasland, the missing Air Force general who...
Yep. Zach, I do too. I think they're shitting bricks right now, and I hope they are. I hope they are shitting bricks right now.
Los Angeles Magazine describes is having overseen a large share of the Pentagon's most secretive black projects, including directed energy systems and space-based weapon programs. His case shares a...
Now, remember, for particularly the United States viewers, I mean, all of you guys, but, know that there was like the space race in the 60s, right? And then there was what's it called? Sorry, I can't think either. I got mental fog too, but mine's from a Lyme's disease. What's it called? I'll get to it in a second. I'll think about it in a second. But now it's the new space race, right? And you can tell they've said it's a new space race as well, but they're doing private, a lot of private companies now. Now they're getting ready to set up on the moon. When they go to the moon, I think next year they're spending 6 or 7 days on the moon. Last time they spent like 20 minutes on the
connection to that of Monica Reza. The rocket scientist's work overlapped with General McCasland and was partially overseen by him. Both of them vanished without a trace. Reza from Los Angeles National Forest, where she was hiking with friends, and McCasland from near his Albuquerque home. It is...
Notice how all of these people that goes missing, they all say that they're going on a walk as well. One's hiking with their friend 30 meters away and goes missing. The other one goes for allegedly a walk while his wife is at the doctor real quick, and there's a handyman there. And the 79-year-old, the other guy, he goes missing during a
safe to say, without minimizing the 9 or so other cases, that McCasland and Reza raised the most alarm. The others at least appear, some of them, to have some sort of explanation. For example, planetary scientist Michael David Hicks's death certificate lists heart disease and morbid obesity as leading to his demise. Jason Thomas, Amy Eskridge, and Melissa Casias all appear to have been struggling perhaps with some sort of mental health issue. But even their stories have odd details. Amy Eskridge had texted friends that she was being physically attacked to silence her work. She even texted one friend that if I die, I did not kill myself. And Melissa Casias's phone history was wiped before she vanished. As we know, the House Oversight Committee and the FBI are now investigating. President Trump has hinted we could get answers by as soon as next week. And Congress is concerned that there is danger lurking for others involved with America's top national security secrets.
people who have been associated with the nuclear program need to make sure that we are not just on the case, but concerned about them also. And so it's more than a red flag. It's an alarm that is going off.
So could it all be connected? Or in this case, might we be missing the trees for the forest? Joining us now is Mark von Rennenkamp. He's a former analyst with the U.S. Department of State and Department of Defense. He's also a Hill opinion contributor. Mark, great to have you back. So what do you make of this? Do you think that people are going crazy with a conspiracy theory, or is this some astonishing coincidence that all these people...
Hey, Zach, be careful, buddy, as well. Don't tell anybody where you're staying or anything. Make sure nobody follows you, and stuff like that. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just telling you, be safe.
Some of whom work together, some of whom had overlapping or shared common expertise, all just happened to die or disappear within the same year.
Elizabeth, thanks so much for having me. It's nice to be back with you. And I think at a high level, I think we are dealing with coincidences. The cleared population, the population of individuals.
I think you are nuts. This guy thinks it's coincidence. What the hell is at a high level? Because, okay.
Individuals associated with these defense contractors and these federal research centers is massive. We're talking about millions of people. Unfortunately, people die. There are mysterious...
Well, I know old Daniel does, and he has people.
Serious incidents or unexplained incidents. And that's just what happens with these large organizations. So no, I don't...
Well, yeah, I mean... Franklin, it's who even knows what chemicals, on those secret bases and nuclear radiation and all of that stuff they are susceptible to. It's crazy.
I don't see a through line. I don't see a particular connection or a broad conspiracy theory here or conspiracy, but
No, come the fuck on. Come on. I mean, 6, 7, 8, 9 of them have vanished in 2024 and 2025. 9 of them? No way. No way.
I do want to point out that, yes, General McCasland's disappearance is very odd, especially considering his connections to the UFO lore and the history. But I also want to briefly highlight the death of a former Air Force intelligence officer by the name of Matthew Sullivan. And Congressman Eric Burleson recently stated that his office had reached out to Sullivan and that he died within a few weeks of speaking or being prepared to speak to Congress. And I cannot underscore this enough. Burleson, the congressman, said that the Inspector General, presumably of the intelligence community, found the circumstances of his death credible and urgent.
They found out a lot about the Havana syndrome. Go to 60 Minutes. They recently did a story on Havana syndrome. I dug all into Havana syndrome, not online, but like on live streams, but I dug all into it. You put that where you're told end up missing. Yeah.
And referred the matter to the FBI. And I'll add one more bit. We now know that Sullivan was one of the witnesses that UAP whistleblower David Grush, one of the key witnesses in Grush's investigation, which he alleges uncovered a decades-long.
Havana syndrome is it started, how it got its name is it started, the first known case was in Havana, Cuba, and it was high level CIA and stuff like that, and they would be like in their apartment or their home or wherever they were staying, and they would get this overwhelming head pain and dizziness and all of that, and they would have bad symptoms for months on end, and they kept being reported. And this even happened at the White House. At the White House. They was you can go into it and watch it. And they think that now that it is allegedly from Russia, and that it's a microwave type device that they were targeting people from high levels of government. And a lot of them, it's destroyed their lives. Yeah.
UAP retrieval and reverse engineering efforts. So I would really focus on McCasland and Sullivan in those particular cases.
Let's start with McCasland. We gave the overview on him, but what specifically was McCasland doing in relation to the UAP or UFO projects?
Yes. So specifically, the specific connection to the UAP story is that McCasland in 2016 met with John Podesta, who was then the chairman of the Hillary Clinton's campaign, presidential campaign.
Mm-hmm.
He met with Podesta, who has a longstanding interest in UFOs, but also with the then sitting head of Lockheed Skunk Works, which is the most secretive element of Lockheed that produces all of the most secretive airframes that the company develops. They met in 2016.
Widow, that's what I think it is. In my opinion, that's what I was saying earlier. I think this is foreign adversaries wanting technology, information that they know. In my opinion.
16
because it's about propulsions with specific propulsions, like nuclear propulsions and stuff like that. I think that's what it is, in my opinion.
Ostensibly because Hillary Clinton was going to be the quote-unquote disclosure candidate. And
who was going to finally tell all about the secret government programs.
That was the belief that Clinton would be transparent about UFOs, about UAPs.
Why wasn't she?
That is another good question. And this gets in a little bit in the weeds, but McCasland was the key source, apparently, for a series of novels that a rock star, Tom DeLonge of Blink-182, wrote that basically fictionalized the narrative that we're hearing now of a widespread UFO retrieval and reverse engineering program that has not been disclosed to the Congress and certainly not to the public.
So you're saying McCasland had direct knowledge of secret government programs or alleged secret government programs?
That is the insinuation. We don't know that for a fact, but we do know McCasland. Okay. McCasland was in very, very sensitive positions in the Air Force, extremely sensitive positions.
And what about Sullivan? Was when you say Sullivan was part of? I've interviewed David Grush several times. Was Sullivan one of the people David Grush was talking about when he was talking about this secret program that he never saw himself, but he saw many documents?
Listen, they are not going to release anything that they don't. Listen, I don't mind, and this may sound bad, but the countries have to have secrets that they can't tell us. And that is to keep us safe, essentially. They're always working on technologies and stuff like that for military defense. I get that. but they're not going to tell us. Nobody, I don't care what president or who, they're not going to tell us if they don't want it out, right? Because they're essentially competing with, it's a arms race essentially.
And spoke to many people who were directly personally involved.
To my understanding, Sullivan was a very, very close friend of David Grush's and a key member, one of those key witnesses that Grush based his Inspector General complaint on, which was deemed credible and urgent, and that triggered notifications to Congress. So again, Sullivan appears to, I don't know this for a fact, but I wouldn't be surprised if these programs exist that Sullivan was one of the key, potentially firsthand witnesses of these programs.
One of the firsthand witnesses that David Grush was talking about in his testimony before Congress, and of course, when he was talking to us here at News Nation. And, you know, by the way, David Grush was telling me he's getting death threats, that he had to go underground. Like, this is serious stuff. And who knows where those threats are coming from, but they're real and life-changing for the people who get them. Marek von Rennenkampf, I don't think this is the last time we're going to be covering this story. I'm sure we'll have you back on to talk about it some more. Thank you so much as we learn more. A part of the human brain will always be drawn to
So, yeah. It's very, very interesting here. Let me find this right here. What time is my next live? Let me see what time my next live is. Okay, I got a little bit of time. 8:45. Okay. This is very, very interesting right here. This one, let me find it. By the way, this is, let me show you this picture real quick. This space thing that they were, and you remember, like, I feel stupid for even talking about this, but I did see, I don't know if it's an unidentified flying object. I didn't know what the hell it was, and I told you guys at the beginning of this, it was in broad daylight. It was on top of a mountain, because I live in the mountains. There's nothing flat here. And it wasn't that high in the air above the mountain, and it looked like a stereotypical saucer. Silver, all of that, and very, very similar to this shape. Very similar to this shape. And it was before smartphones and all that. This is one of the actual documents that got released. I feel dumb talking about it because I just don't like, I never believed anybody, ever believed anybody like that. But yeah, very weird. They just did a congressional meeting. I watched it on this as well. But like McCasland, he is a very, very decorated, like, I mean, it can get too much for anybody, right? I mean, you know, depression or illness, and they can, you know, potentially get depressed and, you know, do self-harm, God forbid. But he just doesn't seem like the type that's going to do this.
11 American nuclear and space-linked scientists have either disappeared or died, all under mysterious circumstances, all within the last 4 years. Now, both the FBI and and the House Oversight Committee are investigating this string of mysteries, including the disappearance of a former U.S. official who oversaw some of the military's most classified research programs. Here with reactions, she is the host of Crime Stories. Our friend Nancy Grace is back. 1, an isolated incident. 2, a coincidence. 3 or more, a pattern. We have 11. Okay, you've been studying all of these people. What do you see as a common theme, and what should law enforcement be putting together and our intel community be putting together?
I know that Comer has just announced that the government...
Yes, they did. They did. Edward Snowden leaked data about digital surveillance and had to flee the country if someone were preparing to leak the semantics in the next generation propulsion drone. Yeah. They've been working on it for 70 years.
Is looking into this, but surprisingly, and you're going to be very surprised at this after what we went through with the Nancy Guthrie case with the feds not being invited in, guess what? Back in March, sources are stating the feds uninvited jumped into the disappearance of McCasland. McCasland, General Neil McCasland, commanded the AFRL, the Air Force Research Lab, senior Pentagon official. Now, I'm going to tell you what they did. I'm going to tell you how they disappeared. McCasland disappeared, Sean, in the space of less than 1 hour. He was at home. A repairman saw him. His wife saw him. She leaves for a hair appointment a little after 11. She gets back a little after 12:04 to be exact. He's gone. On foot. Takes no tracking device such as smartwatch, phone, prescription glasses. He takes one thing, his hiking boots, he's wearing them, and a .38. Why?
And a backpack.
Listen to this. Shortly after, a gray Air Force sweatshirt was found about a mile away. The only thing that would have identified him, gone. Scent dogs, cadaver dogs, nothing. Seemingly disappeared into thin air. That's number one. Okay, Chavez, Anthony Chavez. Listen to this. He answered to McCasland. Very high up, he worked in a site critical for nuclear research. It's called DART, Dual Access Radiographic Hydrodynamic Facility. That's just the name of it. Can you imagine what he did in there?
Didn't Tesla show free energy years ago? Well, there's no such thing as free energy that I'm aware of.
Answer to McCasland, like McCasland, he leaves home on foot near Los Alamos, leaves behind, like McCasland, wallet, keys, cigarettes, all mode of transportation, cell phone, never seen again. They even sent out cadaver dogs looking for him, nothing. On foot, gone. Number 2, Garcia. He built nuclear parts for the AFRL, Air Force Research Lab, built nuclear parts, and he helped supply 80% of the non-nuclear components for nuclear weapons, all nuclear sites. Important, right? Stephen Garcia disappears, Albuquerque. Lots of this is happening in New Mexico. Leaves him on foot, leaves behind wallet, keys, car, takes a handgun.
This is also, there's a lot of private sectors involved now. Very, very big companies as well. What's the one Jeff Bezos owns? Blue or something like that. And then there's Musk.
It's almost as if they were told to leave. They took nothing to identify them. 2 of them took a handgun. Wait, that's 3 of them took a handgun. I've got 2 more for you, and I'll be brief. Missing mom. This is the one that really gets me, because there's no way Melissa Casias would have left her daughter. She drops off a Subway sandwich to her daughter at lunchtime. She's going to work from home. She's spotted on surveillance, Sean, around 2:18 p.m., eastbound Road 518. She never took walks in the hot afternoons there. She leaves behind keys, cell, work cell, wallet, purse.
All of them do.
Both her work phone and her personal phone had been factory reset before she left.
That's a very good point. It had been factory reset before she left. But again, police should be able, unless, government can find a way to factory reset your phone and, not for the police not to see what's on it, but they should be able to.
She worked with Chavez at Los Alamos. How are people saying no connection? And last, aerospace engineer Monica Jacinto Reza. She developed the super alloy I was telling you about last night called Mondelez for rockets. McCasland oversaw and funded her work. She's on foot. She's hiking. in the Angeles National Forest. Her friends are ahead of her. They turn around. She waves. She smiles. They turn back around. A few minutes later, Sean, she's gone. There was a very high-tech search for her immediately. Nothing. It's like all 5 of them vanish into thin air. Just like that. How are people saying this is not connected?
Oh, it's connected. It's a pattern. And I learned that from you. And
so, I agree with Nancy here. There's a lot of really, really weirdness, right? Again, it's not just in New Mexico. It's these people are all over the country, which it doesn't matter, you know what. But then they all worked. California, 1, 2, 3, 4 people missing in California. What's here? 1, 2, 4 people missing in New Mexico. 1 missing in Alabama. Or this, hold on. The red is deceased. Yellow is missing. Wow. Massachusetts as well. That's crazy. It's crazy. Something is going on here. You know what I mean? Thank you, little black bear. 2 girls just went poof. Picnic at Hanging Rock. 2 girls just went poof. Yeah, there's a lot of, what's that? Someone mentioned it earlier, missing 411. That these people go missing in national parks. Very, very weird as well. Let me find this right here real quick. Give me a second. They simply have no idea. Simply have no idea. Lisa, I'm losing my mind to find flights for my son, daughter-in-law, and grands. My son's dad is dying of oh. If they are, sometimes if they're at the like last minute flights. Thank you, Shannon. Thank you, baby. The Massachusetts guy was pew-pewed by the guy who shot Zip. Mousy, you are important, darling. All right, guys. We're going to keep following this. It's not a live stream I normally do, but I wanted to do this and talk to you guys about it and see what you guys thought. Very interesting comments. I think there's new technology that makes people do this. It's the government, you know. It's crazy. Pop-eyed Jack. Strange that's the Boston guy was pew-pewed on his doorsteps by the guy who shot Brown University. Then the guy offed himself in New Hampshire. Really? How about Lynette Hooker's story? Yeah, I need to do another live on that soon. Thank you, Mousy. Nancy, take a breath. Yep. We're new information. We're new things coming out in Jack and Lily case today. We're going to be covering here in a little bit. Miss Malaya out there standing like a princess 1 year later after Jack and Lily go missing. Lots of new things we're going to be talking about tonight. So join us there. I will be live in an hour from now. So make sure you join us for that one. Really do appreciate you guys. You guys are amazing. Special thank you to mods members and everyone in chat. Really do appreciate you. I'll see you guys in an hour. Much love, everyone. Bye-bye.